We're going to bring on Keandra Ward, our special guest for today. She is a powerful rich Black woman. But listen, one thing about Fee, I need y'all to know, if y'all are new to me, I need y'all to understand, I don't embarrass easily. I don't shame easily. I don't guilt easily. I don't do none of that. Why? Because I happen to know that everybody's human. I hate to let that cat out the bag and just drop it on y'all like that with no warning. But everybody's human. Everybody's using technology. And anybody who's doing anything of purpose and of substance is probably being attacked while they're doing it. So if we can learn that and embrace that, we'll be all right. If we can't, I'm probably not the platform for you, babe. All right. So listen.
I love it.
Thank you so much for tapping in today. Can you please introduce the people to who you are before we continue our conversation?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Keandra Ward. I am the founder of Keystone Business Institute, which is an online entrepreneur school for entrepreneurs, and the KWI Collective, which is a marketing, PR, and media firm. I am based here out of Tampa, Florida. I tell people all the time, outside of all of that, at the end of the day, I am a child of God. I don't play with who He has called me to be and what He has called me to do on this earth.
I am so here for it, especially in a world of people like to play around.
Yes, ma'am.
We are in a space where people love to play around. And I want to start by asking, because knowing you probably have written down some things you want to get into from where I even started earlier. But what does a rich Black woman mean to you on this journey?
Ooh, for me, I had to think about that when you guys asked me to come on. I was like, what does that mean to me? That was one of the first questions I asked myself before I said yes, because I had to have an understanding. And for me, a rich Black woman is a woman that is honest with herself, that is honest with where she is, what she wants, where she's going. And I think a lot of times, and a lot of the things that we do, because of the facet of who we are and what people see, we're sometimes not honest with ourselves. So for me, rich is being honest first with myself and being whole with who I am. And then from there, once my cup is full, I can then fill others' cup. And when, we get, I ain't gonna go, let me stop going. Okay, so I'm already about to get started. So once I can fill my cup, then I can then overflow. That overflow can fill other people's cup. And then from there, I can help other people because I'm already rich and I'm already full.
That's so good. That's so good. I run into a lot of people that when they see rich Black woman, whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's a brooch or what have you, they go straight to the money piece.
To the money.
Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, we need that. We need the money. The money is a part of it, okay? We're not some crazy, deep saying we don't need no money. No, baby, that's anti-biblical. But that cannot be your very first thought. That cannot be your very last thought. That cannot be what it rises and falls on. And the reason I had to go there after running a 7-figure coaching program is because I realized that a lot of women were getting this money and was everything but rich. They thought this money was going to solve their problems. If I just got in the right circle, if I just made the right money, if I just went in the right room and I started being accepted by the right people, then maybe. Right. But then they got that money. Still had the same issues, and they still had the depression and the guilt and the shame and the assaults and whatever else happened on this journey to us. And we still had to deal with it. And so that leads me to ask you, how did you realize as a Black woman on this journey that there were some things that you could not avoid dealing with in order to find success?
You know what? I got to a place of breakdown. Just a personal, because for me, it was, I got to deal with me. I have to deal with my rejection issues. I had to deal with the issues of, and where did that stem from my relationship with my biological father. And so that started to flow into business. So, when you were saying like, hey, because the client is not coming, that's okay. I had to get to there. So, that was where for me, when people said no to me, I felt rejected. And I took it so personal. And I had to realize that sometimes a no is not a hard no, it's just not right now. Because most of the people took a couple months and found the money to come back. You know what I'm saying? But that initial rejection really hurt me to the point where I was breaking down. And so I had to realize that in order for me to move forward and in order for me to grow, I had to deal with that part of me that had nothing to do with my business. It had nothing to do with my skill set. It had nothing to do with the people I serve. It had everything to do with me. And so for me, that's where it started from. I shut down. I love I'm laughing as you were talking because I'm one of those people. I shut down for a whole year and was like, let me figure this thing. I ain't got time because I need to understand why and I need to understand where. We always tell everybody, find the who, what, when, where, and why in the business, but we're not even doing the who, what, where, and why in our lives. And so when you do that first, then you can do that in business. So that's what
I love it. I love that because we like to pretend that we don't get broken out here, right?
Yeah.
You brought up the rejection and you brought up being told no and the hard no's. And I realized that sometimes the hard no's were a covering. Like we want to be in this space so bad. You want to be accepted. You want to be on this stage. And sometimes it's too small.
Right.
We've been watching, I don't know, I'm sure you've seen a lot on LSU women's basketball highlights.
Oh, absolutely.
I've been following them for about the past month because we watch March Madness. We watch the tournament. And I thought about Flau'jae. She's number 4 for LSU. And I kept thinking, she looks so familiar to me. She looks familiar and I can't place it, but she's a kid. She's like 19. There's no way I know this kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized she was on the Rap Game.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that was during the time that I watched that show. And I remember her not being picked. And I remember myself and several other people like, why didn't she get picked? She was the best one. How could they pick this other kid? And she was fantastic. And then you see her all these years later. And I think about her being, maybe 8 or 9 at that time. Had she gotten that record deal as a child, I wonder if she would have ever played basketball.
Right. That's good.
And so now she's the brand. You understand what I'm saying? So how do we as Black women deal with what looks like rejection, but it's preparation for what we really should be believing in?
Oh, that's good. I think that every time that you receive a no, you can't take it personal. And sometimes it's the wait. You got to wait and see what God is going to do. We may not be able to initially deal with it. We may not be able to initially understand it. And we are human. I tell people we need to stop trying to take the human aspect out of business and life because we're human. We're going to feel it. We are going to feel it. We are going to hurt. But sometimes it's that wait. You got to wait and see what God is going to do because he's not going to give you, sometimes he'll give you a little bit of the puzzle, but he's not going to give you the whole puzzle all at one time. So I think sometimes it's me. For me, I have a prayer room and I say, God, ask me. I'm asking him and I talk to him like I talk to people. I don't go, I don't do all that. I just look, I'm hurting. Why? You want to tell me now, or are we waiting? Okay, we waiting. All right, I'm gonna wait and see. And it always circles back. It always gets to a point where you can be like, oh man, God, I see why you did that. Okay, I got you. I see why that is. And then trying to grow myself. And then I look at how did I handle this level of issue this time? Because it's gonna come back around. And how did I handle it this time? Did I handle it properly or did I not? Because if it didn't handle it properly, I know it's probably gonna come back around a couple times because I know I'm stubborn. All right, let's do that. Second, I'm like, all right, God, show me how you want me to handle this? Because I think sometimes we forget to just ask him the how. You know what I'm saying? We try to take everything on ourselves. And Keandra is not at a place where I realize that I cannot and I will not.
I gotta go right there when you said taking on things yourself. I need y'all to tag y'all friends that are still on before we wrap and go to this Q&A, because this whole topic of the relationship with God and the foundation of how you move as a rich Black woman, sometimes when we are not getting what we want, I want to emphasize that. Sometimes we are not getting what we want. We think God has forgotten about us. We think that means we're no longer called. That means all those things that people said about us, they're no longer true. All the results that we got, all the testimonials we got, they're inaccurate. All the prophetic words, they were lying. How do you, as a Black woman in business, as a Black woman that has a big calling on your life, how do you, when you are not getting what you want, stay in a clear-headed space to continue making moves.
So, you know, if those that know me online, they know that I am a staycation, vacation, getaway by the water type of woman. Like, I'm
my girl.
If I don't do nothing, I'm gonna get on the plane. Let me just say that, you know? And so I've learned to step away, because sometimes I work out of my house. Everything happens here. Life, family, business, love, everything happens here, right? So sometimes I just got to step away from that. And so for me, it's stepping away and getting into a place that's that gives me a clearer vision, that gives me some peace, that gives me some calm to be able to look at things rationally. Also, I take time every day. I have a strict schedule like you. I like not strict, but it's very, I'm like, yeah, it's very intentional. That's a great word. It's very intentional, because I know, one, I have a lot to do, but also I have, I want to make sure that there is 24 hours a day and it is enough time to do what I need to do and still sit down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. A lot of times I don't like that. It's not enough hours in a day. Oh yeah, it is, if you're planning it right. Like, it is, if you do it right. And so I'm very intentional about my time. So taking that time out, I exercise, going for walks, just making sure that I'm in alignment with myself first, because I'm also, you know, I can be a little snappy sometimes. So I have to pause, you know, I have to pause, and I have to be like, hold on, Keandra. I was telling somebody the other day that sometimes when I wake up, if I'm really not feeling it and it's a place that I don't have to go, I don't go, simply because I know I'm not in the right space to go, and I have to deal with me before I go outside, because I don't want it to affect my brand. I don't want it to affect the people that my team and that I'm called to serve either, if I'm not in the right space. And we have to be honest with ourselves. Sometimes we're not feeling it. Sometimes it's not it. And it's okay, as long as you have your process on how you deal with you. And so I have put together a process on how I deal with Keandra, because Keandra is something, you know, she can be.
That's so good. That is so good. And I totally agree. I also have a process for dealing with myself, because I know, one, my human issue is pride. I know that. And so there are a lot of things that may look like something else. It looks like I have an attitude, but I have an attitude because something didn't get done that I should have delegated. So I don't actually have an attitude. My issue is pride.
Pride, yeah.
Attitude is a symptom of my issue. And what I have learned in all these years of working with Black people and Black women, and almost 2 decades of working with business owners, is that if you do not get to the root, the God honest root and truth of your problem, it's going to be a problem and always have a whole problem.
Yeah.
And so there aren't but so many problems you can have, right? Is it pride? Is it envy? Is it jealousy? Like, read your Bible. It tells you right there what a couple of problems could be.
Yeah.
The problem. Okay, cool. I'm okay with that. But before we wrap, I'm gonna ask you. I do want to ask you, as you travel on this journey and you see yourself at the ultimate rich Black woman level, how do you see yourself?
Oh God, how do I see myself right now? Or
no,
in
no,
the future?
At your ultimate level, at the peak high level of rich Black woman, what do you see?
I see extreme peace. I see calmness. I see love. I see humility. I see help. Yeah, I see just being at peace and happy with where I am and what God has called me to do, like 100%. I think that life's stressors can sometimes get you to a place where you don't focus on that. And so being at a place where the peace of God rests before anything else. And I think that's where.
That's good. I want to take the time to tell those of you who are live, number one, make sure you are following Keandra on all platforms. We're going to give her an opportunity to share those with you all. if you would like to be a part of the New Rich Black Woman Society, where we are going to continue this conversation. We are going to be meeting in person. We're going to be doing this every week. We actually have a private chat available as well in the society where we'll be chatting daily. You guys can actually chat with or without me. And so we'll all be there to continue to support one another, because in this time, we need support. We need one another. We need to continue to disrupt the narrative that says Black women don't stick together, because we know that's not true. We need to disrupt the narrative that says Black women do not look out for each other, because we know that's not true. And so, Keandra, can you tell everybody a little bit about what you have going on right now, how they can keep in contact with you as well?
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. So right now, one of the main things that I do, I am a publicist. So I have been working on building and growing our marketing, PR, and media firm. So right now, I've just been working on highlighting our clients and getting them out there and getting the visibility that they need, and building a brand around showing others how to, making sure that brands are ready for a publicist or ready for PR. Because a lot of people think they're ready for TV and PR, and they are not ready at all. So one of the things that I've created is your brand ready for a publicist? And so that's a course that we're about to roll out to really just help people understand if they're ready, and then do some media training and things like that to help them prepare for the media and be able to prepare for the good and bad of media. Because you may think you're going on that news show for your next thing that you're doing, and they pulled up something from 2002 and how to deal with that, and how to overcome those objections and things. So that's one of the things that we are absolutely working on. I'm so excited about that. I am also the co-owner of the VA Recruiter, which is a virtual assistant recruiting company to help brands that need some assistance get the assistance that they need. So those are the things that we're working on, and just really trying to be a help and a light to everybody.
That is straight rich Black woman behavior, because I have to be honest. A lot of times, we see people in the press and we see people grow and they get all this media, and you're like, but they sound terrible, but oh no one told them that their hair was sticking over here, or no one told them how to handle that question. Sometimes you see them get stuck. And so I think it's beautiful that you actually do media training and not just PR and helping people get pressed, because a lot of times we just be out there, y'all. We cannot continue to move like that. We have to slow down. We have to get in position to be the successes that we see ourselves as. We'll see you soon. Bye now.